They say true friendship is priceless, but what happens when one friend puts a price on the other's life? In this case, trust turned into betrayal, and a bond meant to last a lifetime ended in unimaginable tragedy. Let's uncover how one man's greed destroyed everything, and you wouldn't believe his reason. Paulinus Okon's life is a classic tale of rising from humble beginnings to achieving success. Originally from Calabar, he moved to Delta State, where he started selling clothes in Ughelli. His hard work paid off, and he eventually opened the Easy Boutique, growing it into one of the town's most successful businesses. Life seemed to be treating him well. With his growing success, Paulinus formed a close friendship with Efe Onoeti, also known as Efe Money, a man with a shady reputation for internet fraud, locally known as Yahoo Yahoo. Despite the rumors surrounding Efe, the two became inseparable. Paulinus trusted Efe completely, a trust that would ultimately cost him his life. One day, Paulinus went missing after hanging out with Efe. His family and friends grew increasingly worried when attempts to reach him failed. Though his boutique was still running under the management of his employees, his absence raised alarm bells, especially for his family back in Cross River State. On the 8th of September 2024, his brother reported him missing. At first, his friend Ife claimed to know nothing about his friend's disappearance, but in a show of false concern, he approached the family, suggesting that they pay 500,000 naira, that's about $300, to consult a herbalist for clues about Paulinus' whereabouts. Days later, he came forward with a shocking story. Paulinus had been kidnapped, and the kidnappers were demanding a huge ransom. Desperate to get Paulinus back, the family sent over 20 million naira, that's about $13,000 to Ife, trusting that he was doing everything he could to get their loved one back home. But something wasn't right. Paulinus never returned. As weeks turned into months, with no sign of Paulinus, doubts began to creep in. Ife's inconsistencies raised suspicions, leading the family to involve the police. That's when Ife's story fell apart. When Ife was interrogated, his story quickly unraveled. What he revealed left even the police in shock. Ife wasn't just a middleman in the supposed kidnapping, he was the mastermind. Under interrogation, Ife confessed to the shocking truth. Paulinus was already dead, and he orchestrated everything from the kidnapping to the murder. Ife admitted he lured Paulinus to Orere River in Otokutu with the help of 3 other accomplices. There, they tied him to a stake and beat while he was still alive. Not dead, very much alive. I can only imagine the betrayal he must have felt, knowing that the man he called a friend was the one condemning him to such brutal fate. After the murder, they discarded his body in the river and buried his head at a shrine entrusted to a 30-year-old herbalist named Lawrence Joseph. And the motive? You wouldn't believe it. Paulinus had entrusted Ife with 30 million naira, about $19,000 to buy property, a house for him. But Ife, instead of buying the property, Ife squandered the money, spent it on his own personal expenses. In fact, as Paulinus sent him money, he was building his own house. Imagine that. Unable to explain what he had done and scared of his friend's reaction, he decided to silence Paulinus forever. I can't help but feel sickened by the betrayal. Not only did Ife betray his friend's trust, but he also plotted the most horrific end for him. When I first read about this, I kept thinking, how does someone do this to their best friend? How do you go from sharing laughs and secrets to plotting such a brutal end for the person who trusted you? You would think that's the end, but no. The betrayal didn't end there. Even after Paulinus' death, Ife had the audacity to continue extorting his grieving family, pretending to help. He collected millions of naira under the guise of negotiating with the supposed kidnappers. Imagine their heartbreak when they discovered that the man they had trusted to help them was the one who caused their son's death. Further investigations by the Delta State Police Command led to the arrest of the 3 accomplices who confessed to their roles in the crime. As of now, all 4 suspects remain in custody. Paulinus' story is one of trust betrayed in the most horrific way. Greed and selfishness can drive people to do the unthinkable. As I reflect on this case, I can't help but wonder, did Ife ever regret his actions? Was there ever a moment where he doubted whether he should actually go through with it? Or had he just convinced himself that he was justified? Yeah, I highly doubt it. If he had even an atom of regret, he wouldn't have been able to approach the family again and again to extort money from them. The heart of man can truly be wicked. As we reflect on Paulinus' tragic end, his case leaves us with chilling questions. How well do we really know the people we call our friends? How do we protect ourselves when the person we trust the most turns out to be our greatest enemy? Paulinus' tragic story leaves us with an important lesson. Trust must be earned, and even the closest bonds can be broken by selfishness and deceit. May his soul rest in perfect peace. So that's it for this case, guys. Did it shock you as much as it did me? Let's discuss it down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my next video where I will cover another chilling case. Thanks for your support as always. Bye.
I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.